I have been a mental health consultant for, for long. I would say this is the 54th year that I've been practicing. Honestly, I didn't choose this. I didn't choose mental health area at all. My life had been very ordinary. My father was a teacher and then a manager for a transport. My mother had studied only that standard, and so I'm also from a kind of a rural background. So not much of aspiration in life. We just took life as it came. And so I did my BSc botany because there was only course available at that time. And then I tried many fields because I didn't have any clue what I should be doing in life. So I joined my uncle to do commission Mandi at Madurai. I didn't like it. Then I thought of my dad was in transport, so he asked me whether I would like to run a petrol bunk. So I tried. That also I didn't like. And then he said he can travel in the lorry and help the business people or carrying money from place to place. That also I tried. It didn't suit me. Then my brother's friends suggested me to join sociologue. So I took it. I did it in Coimbatore. And that also without any aim. I took medical psychiatry. And after completing, the friend, he said he was working in a rehab center in Chennai. So he left the job. So he suggested me. I said fine. So I joined the rehab center. For a number of years I worked. But when I worked there, quite a few things happened. I was in charge of the center, or we had something like 70 to 75 residents, and every time when the patients come out of the room, they should stand in the line, and we count them, and then they could go for lunch or any food, anything. Everything goes in structured way, and there were games, even outdoor games, that also they should go in line and sit. So when we were playing one day, one of the residents, he jumped a wall and ran away. Usually in these places, they are brought in by force, or they don't want to stay in the residences. So they all wanted to leave the place. So naturally, one person jumping, going away, it's expected, but definitely not as an organization. Okay, so I was panic. I too jumped, chased him, and it was in a beach area in Chennai. So it was a little difficult to run, but I had to chase him. And we were running. It was like at least for 10 minutes we were doing it. And I chased him, and I was finding it very difficult. That's why I pushed him down and caught him from behind, put a lock, and brought him back. He didn't want to come, so I had to drag him. Dragged and brought him. On the way, in a village, a lady asked, why are you taking this boy like this? I got a little irritated with her. I said, you don't know he's mentally ill. So he ran away from our place. So, but even then she said, but this is not the way to take a boy. I ignored, brought him back. After coming back, I thought about it. Why am I behaving like this? Then I realized my understanding of mental illness was not good. So I felt that I should go for higher training. So that's the time demands called for applications for MPhil. So I applied, got it. Came here. That was in 1976 in December. GP. So I have been in Bangalore from then on. The training at Demands was quite intense. I never been like that. There were only 3 of us in the class. A course being run for 3 of us. It was a little strange. By 7:30, session started at the classes, and then till 9 o'clock it goes on, and then we can quickly come back to hostel, have breakfast, and go again. 9:30 the clinic starts. Again, there will be very less time for lunch, and then tutorials. Quite a few things happen, and we are allotted cases. We have to work on the cases. So by the time we go back to the room, it will be around 8:30. It was going on like that for 2 years. But it was such rich experience of meeting patients and families. And I would have had sessions, at least some 3.5 to 4,000 residents, many patients and their families would have such a rich experience, exposure. Okay. So that's how I came into mental health theatre. And once I learned so much, then I got stuck in that knowledge. And so I would say I started my life working with the persons with mental illness. But slowly it expanded to include mental health in every aspect. I started working with many NGOs and training, all that. All that expanded my perspectives to look at day-to-day life and how people react to it. And I think like any other business, in this mental health business, once you come in, there's no way out. To begin with, the mental health practice was with the persons with mental illness. That's how I began my area of work. And you can't avoid, because once we start working with the patients, we have to work with the family members. We have to work with neighbors. We have to work with the community. So the scope keeps expanding. And once you expand your scope, you also should understand how to work with each. Okay, so how to work with the family members, how the family members get affected, and how to involve the neighbors into it, and then how to work with the community, so the community should understand what is mental health, all that. So when all that came in, my area of work also became different. My life was only within the hospital. Then I came out of it. I left demands of no. Okay, that brings another story. I was invited by government of Sri Lanka to come as a consultant to start social work course in Sri Lanka. At that time, I was also much caught up in certain politics in my job. So I also wanted a way out. So I was quite happy that this came up. So I didn't want to miss the opportunity. By then I completed 17 years of experience. So I wanted to go. They asked me to come for 2 years. So all my friends said, look, 2 years meaning 19 years. 19 years, if you are completing 20 years, you'll be eligible for pension. Okay. So I went and joined. That's the time the war was going on. I was not much aware of the war, but I could hear ambulance every night, every day, every time. So I was told that every time an ambulance comes, that means a soldier is in danger, and they bring him back from field. So nearly 1 year, I could hear only this. Then second year, I was working in National Institute of Social Development, starting diploma in social work in Tamil medium. So I had students from North and East and all Tamils. And that itself posed a great challenge because the entity was present everywhere. And when they come to Colombo and do certain, terrorist activities, then the police becomes active and it pins down all the Tamils. So my students, few didn't have place, so they were staying in different places, somewhere in the temples, somewhere with some friends. So all those were the target. So I remember that once an entity terrorist attacked a newspaper company, and then they ran out. They escaped. Police went chasing them. They ended up in the temple, and then they found the students were there, and they took them. So I got panic because they're my students. How can they take them? So fortunately, the DG, Director General, was quite helpful man. We went with him to the police station and then to the prison, saw the students, and then did something. So they stayed there from the station for 2 days and then they are out. And then, so because of that, the second year, they're supposed to go for placement, and they didn't want to go anywhere in Colombo or surrounding area. So they said, look, we are Tamils. Our family is in the Tamil area. And we can't do placement in single area. You places where we come from, we'll complete the placement. The placement was for 10 months. So I requested the government to send them to their area. They refused. Their reason was very logical. They said, look, when you place them, you have to go and supervise them. You can't travel to Tamil areas because they're dangerous and you're responsible for your life. So I can't send you. No, the singular faculty can go there. So they have to be here. Students refused. They said, if you insist, you're going back. So I said, okay. So we'll do it. We placed them. And then the government said, you can go, but we don't give protection. No police can come with you. And sorry that you will not given any financial support also for the visits. You're risking your life and go ahead. do that. So when I went all the places where my students were posted, and I had to prepare many pieces. I had to train the NGOs which accommodate my students, NGOs, and I help them to understand social work. And I conducted many trainings. And so that's where my training started. Trainees many. I was exposed to training. I was conducting many trainings, but not to this extent. Every day some workshop, every day some training. Okay, went on. And that's where apart from training, I got exposed to a war. I never say war face to face. And it was unimaginable. I couldn't comprehend what's happening and why it's happening. And police, anybody they suspected, the police or army will stop them, take them to the camp for interrogation. And anybody who has been there will be taken. It was, I couldn't comprehend why all these atrocities. So I was taken, and out of curiosity, they want to know what I'm doing, why I'm here. Fortunately, I had a visiting card from NIST, that is National Institute of Social Development. So I could come out of it. But people who don't have any support, they suffered a lot. And the cruelty of war, I heard about it, I read it, but I didn't know that it can be so cruel. And if the army suspects a person and the person runs into a village, the entire village will be rounded up. And then they will be brought to the camp. They have to stay there, and then they have to prove that they are not LTTE and they are not in close contact with LTTE. Okay, only then they will be sent out. Or rounding up can be just in the town itself, and there will be one person from that community they identify as helpful spy for them, and they will not bring him out like that. They'll put a gunny sack on him with a hole for the eyes. He'll be brought out and kept in a kind of a gate, and the entire village will be let out one by one. So this person, if that person is suspect, the person coming out is a suspect, so he will nod his head, so they'll be taken away. Okay, so that's what they identify LTT sympathizers. Many things happen when we travel. Some army activity going on, so our vehicle will be stopped. We will be asked not to sit in the car, be out, stand out. Sometimes when the army vehicle walks by, we can't even stand. We have to lie flat on the floor and wait for the army truck to go away, but to move on. And so the life was extremely miserable. So having gone through that, I didn't want to come back to Sri Lanka. I want to work with the family. I want to work with children. So I came back, resumed my job. Friends cautioned me, look, you're completing 19 years. If you work for 1 year, you will get pensioned. Why not go after 1 year? I thought, no. The opportunity will not wait for 1 year. The suffering or what I want to do cannot wait for 1 year. So I said, that's okay. So resume my job and back to Sri Lanka. Worked in that area for affected children on child protection for next 6 years. So totally 8 years I was in Sri Lanka. I I developed strong programs. I was working with Save the Children Norway. So they asked me to develop a project where I can bring NGOs and government together. 2-year program. So I took it as a challenge because I never done before, but I wanted to do it. I did it. I also wanted to be very economical. So I made a project. We get to some 35 lakhs Sri Lanka. See? So then the director called me and he said, look, this is fine, but he called me another colleague. He said, work with her because she knows many aspects of that project. So worked with her, and then the budget came to 80 lakhs. I thought it may not be approved. He said, okay, we'll send it. So he sent it to Oslo. After 3 weeks, we got approved and we got 3 crores. It was amazing and I couldn't believe it. But he said, that's it, use it and make the program strong program. Okay. Then we ran around bringing both NGOs and government officers. We did lots of training, developed a program. It was a great success. So they wanted this to be done in Bologna. Again, another 2 years. We did it again in Jaffna, another 2 years. So like that for 6 years, I stayed. The experiences were quite different. Challenges, encounters, many things happened.